Let me know that I had an outstanding bill at my mom's residence.
Two, actually, electric and gas.
Yeah, but Illinois electric and gas is one bill.
What's the total amount?
It was $1,500, but $200 of that bill was already my remaining bill.
What I have here and that you submitted, the bill says $1,501.11. Now, there is some sporadic payment on that account, it looks like. And it's also apparent that most of the time the complete bill was not paid.
Yes, sir.
Let's go to the defendant. You made out your case. Why?
Why? First of all, Judge Joe Brown, she was staying with me at the first residence.
For God's sake, she turned 18 and moved out about, right as she gets grown.
No, she didn't, Your Honor. She was staying with me at the time. She had her own job.
She just turned 18.
She was 18. We moved from one residence to an apartment building to make it cheaper. She's the oldest of 5. I explained to her when we moved in, from her income and our rent went up. So I explained to her they were doing work on the other house, that we would have to move back into the house in order. So the bills were on in my name in the apartment where she stayed with us and also worked. I explained to her after being there for 6 or 7 months that we would have to move back into the house. In order to do that, the bills would have to be in her name at the house.
Why?
Because I already had an outstanding bill at the apartment. In order to move, you would have to have the bill current. So if they were working on a house and the utilities needed to be on, I couldn't transfer them from my house to the apartment back to the house. So I explained that to her when we were moving in order
After the fact, did she go down to the utility company and sign anything?
No, sir, you don't have to. It's done over the phone. And she was aware of it.
That's not true.
That is true in Illinois. You do not have to go to the...
They send you some documentation.
No, they do not in the state of Illinois.
First off, I am familiar with the state of Illinois.
And what I'm explaining in the state of our
So
Illinois...
when did you sign her name? You forged her name. You indicated that was you on the paperwork.
I didn't forge her name. She was aware of the bill when we were moving.
She didn't sign anything. So how is somebody who is in her 18th year, has no standing with the utility company, never having had a service before, going to be able to call in and for the first time get service?
Okay, she didn't, but she was aware that I was calling in.
So you went down and either signed the paperwork there or they mailed it to you. You signed it and sent it back. So how did it work out?
It didn't. There was no going down, Your Honor. I told you that it has to be done over the phone. You don't go. We don't have a utility company in Illinois. It was one in East St. There's not. You do everything over the phone.
We'll be right back with Judge Joe Brown.
You judging me? You don't even know me.
I am judging you. That's what my job has been for a long time.
But the point of it is that you don't know our situation.
I know your situation.
No, you think you know the situation.
Bad girls you love to hate today on Judge Joe Brown.
We're back with Judge Joe Brown. The plaintiff in this case says she was trying to qualify for a housing program when she discovered her mother had tapped into her credit. She says the defendant opened utility accounts in her name and ran up the bills. Let's see what the judge has to say.
Well, how about the rest of what you say? You say you were paying on the bill until the plaintiff, your daughter, prematurely cut off your power without warning. So now you say you shouldn't have to pay. Well, didn't you sort of prematurely sign her on without warning? You're about to get a heavy bill.
No, sir, she had warning, and she did not give me warning.
You're nice, young 10 to 20 years old. You're trying to go to school and work to support yourself. Hey, guess what? I didn't mean to let it sneak up on you, but you got $1,500 you got to pay out for Mama.
No, sir, that's not how it was. And she was in my household. I was paying the bills, and yes, she was going to school, and I was doing the business. But to wait to the last minute to let me know... let me know that she was going to turn off the utilities. I had to get the I never said I was not going to pay the bill. I said when I get the money to pay it, I was going to pay it.
That's why you have the problem. You don't understand that late payments wreck your credit.
Right, and I understand it, but I made agreements to make the payment with the bill.
You are just now turning 36. She's 20. And you've got a 19-year-old son, 18-year-old daughter.
No, a 19-year-old daughter.
19-year-old daughter, a 18-year-old son, 12-year-old daughter, a 9-year-old daughter, and she's 20. Now, what are you doing with the rest of them? How about the 18 and the 19-year-old? What have they got in their names
They
don't
don't
know
have
about?
anything in her name, and evidently I got her to where she is now. All 5 of them, right? All 4 of them.
All right,
two
now
two
let
are
me ask
graduating
you a
on to
question.
school.
Let me ask.
So evidently I was doing something right.
Hold on. Let me ask you this question. Why is it that your husband isn't taking care of this utility bill instead of your 20-year-old daughter?
Because I explained to you when the utility bill got focused, it was, if you go back to the beginning, what I told you, we were staying in an apartment, we were moving, transitioning back to a house. And my husband hasn't, I don't think that is relevant to the case. So my
Is he
husband
staying
hasn't-
there?
Yeah, and she was staying there too, along with 4 of her siblings.
She's a child.
She was, yes, and she was a working child. And then her mom took sick, and that's the reason I had to stop work. So you making
Yeah,
a comment
but
of
what
me being
about
a stay-at-home
your
mom.
husband?
I worked all the way, been working since I was 14 years old. What does
And
that have to
you've
do
been
with
having
it?
babies since you got pregnant
And what
at
is
15.
that? And what is
so
that?
that's a
and
little
none of
early.
them have babies,
That's
and none
a
of that
little
has
early.
anything to do with it.
Oh, yes,
Anything
it
to do
does.
with the case.
Yes,
No,
it
it don't,
does.
because you judging me and you don't even know
I
me.
am judging you. That's
Right,
what my
babe.
job has been
Right,
for a
but you
long
don't-
time.
But the point of it is that you don't know our situation.
I know your situation.
No, you think you
put
know the
yourself in it.
situation.
I
You
am
just said-
judging you
right, and
because
you just
I see
said that
cause
I'm
and
a
effect.
homemaker staying
You
at home,
see,
and I worked. If
the
you ask her,
point-
I worked all their life to
point
take care of them.
is
all
I'm
the
looking
time.
at this
and
nice
you judging
young
me
lady,
just because
20,
you met me.
who
How
doesn't
you can say
have
that?
any kids,
Okay, so you
trying to
just-
get it together, and who right now has a very insurmountable immediate
No, I
problem
don't.
with
I
not
always
you.
kept a
I'm
roof-
not going
a
to give a
roof
damn
over
about
her
you.
head.
You
Well,
made
Jimmy,
your
you do.
bed.
You
You're
going
too
on and
late.
on.
Ma'am, just listen.
She's
Listen to the
doing
judge.
all right. But you put a roadblock in her way that
No,
you
I
had
didn't,
no
because
right
I got her to where she was. And if she would have let me pay the bill, I would have, Judge Joe Brown. I would have paid the bill. I paid on the bill. Did you ask her that? I was making payments on the bill.
I
Ask
have
her.
a copy of your
Ask
payment
her.
history. It's late, and you ruined her credit anyway. There's so many 30,
No, because the
60, and
payments
90-day
were-
latenesses.
I got emancipated when I was 15 years old and
Yeah,
had
so
2
why
brothers.
did you get pregnant when you were 16 and then 17
Have you
when
ever
you
made a
couldn't afford
mistake
it?
in your life?
3, 4 in a row?
Right, it wasn't 3 or 4. I was grown then when I had them.
Grown? You haven't grown up yet.
Well, I have
That's
grown
the
up.
problem.
They're fine. They turned out all right.
I certainly can render opinion on dysfunction, stupidity, manifest and gross ignorance, and lack of understanding of common sense, obligation, and duty to your progeny, to wit, your child, that you screwed up here in terms of actual circumstance,
look
with some
screwed up?
cockamamie idea that your stupidity entitles your empty head to run off at the mouth and interrupt me, so people who need to hear this to be reinforced in their right doing can't hear it because a fool is running a mouth
Right, but
off.
you sitting there calling me a fool and
You
don't think
are.
I'm supposed
Done
to be.
deal enough. Let's put it this way. You didn't compute the interest that's still hanging around on it. It's $2,163.14. Let's round it off to $2,175 in your cost. Done deal. I'm tired of arguing. I'm not really arguing with you. I'm trying to provoke you to show your stupidity so others
No.
can get the idea.
Well, it just shows you too.
This courtroom is now in recess.
Seems Mama had all the power in this relationship, literally something the plaintiff found out the hard way and something she never agreed to. Plaintiff wins.